Hello and welcome back to the Built Different podcast with your host, Steven Pettigrew. On today's little short solo, I wanted to discuss cash flow with you. Now, one of the things that we do at Monopoly and with all our business owners is help business owners who are struggling with cash flow to put the systems in place to start having more cash in the bank than they've ever had that allows them to grow and scale their business. Now, one of my guests that I've had on recently, Craig Alexander Rattray, that's his speciality. He talks about cash flow day in, day out, but we also specialise on the cash flow front at Monopoly. The three of us have got loads of experience when it comes to fixing cash flow problems, and I wanted to share with you a few stories, some tips, some hints that can maybe help you improve your cash flow, because ultimately it is all about cash. If you're a business owner listening to this, you can make as much revenue as you want, you can make profit, and you can still go under, you can still go out of business, because if you're not focused on collecting the cash, that's what can put your business under. So it's so important that you remember that. Make sure your payment terms and you've got a system in place that allows you to get cash in quickly. So a couple of stories with cash flow from some of our companies that have came to us recently this year. So Fusion Electrical in Manchester, really good guys. They came to us at the beginning of the year suffering with a few problems, but one of them was cash flow. And the theme of this podcast, you'll find, is that most business owners don't actually track their cash. So they invoice, they have systems they think they make a lot of money, but when it actually comes to collecting cash, they don't have any system, they're not tracking it. The first thing you do in that scenario, if you're listening to this and you don't have cash in the bank, you don't know when it's coming, the first thing to do is get yourself a cash flow forecast. That's what we done with the guys at Fusion. We got into the business, into the weeds of the business, very quickly implemented a cash flow forecast. We started tracking what money was coming in, when it was coming in, and what money was coming out in direct costs and in overheads. Very quickly, using our spreadsheet, and there's loads of spreadsheets you can get online, you could quickly see where the problems were. There was too many outgoings, the gross profit margin wasn't high enough, and we managed to put that in place and identify the problems. So when you identify the problems, then you know what it is you need to resolve. And you could clearly see that there was a cash flow gap at the end of every month. So money would come in sporadically, money was going out every single day, and they needed to change the way they were paying people, the way that they were being paid. So again, for example, in that company, they weren't chasing up the payments. So they were getting invoices sent out, sometimes on time, other times not, and they weren't getting follow-ups. They were being paid 30 days after they should have been paid, and they're wondering, where's the cash? But in addition to that, which was compounding the problem, is they had direct debits going out every day, every week. There was no consistency. They were paying people, suppliers, weekly when they could have paid them monthly. And these are just really basic things that you need to understand. You need to see through the lens of cash flow to make better decisions in your business. And again, that old saying, it's so cliched, but it's cliched for a reason. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, cash flow is reality. So the key message from this podcast, I hope you understand, is if you're a business owner and you're struggling with cash flow, the first thing to do is get a forecast, then assess that forecast. And again, another story, we've had one of our companies I'll think of, Ben at Wiltshire Flooring, same idea. Came to us, didn't have any cash in the bank, was constantly in overdraft, was constantly getting stressed out by people chasing them for money, struggling to make payroll at the end of the month. And it was all resolved by simply putting in a cash flow forecast and keeping it consistent every single day or every single week, whichever rhythm you get into. Track that cash and protect it, because if you protect that cash, you've got much more ability to pay people on time, to grow your business, to go and acquire a new vehicle, to acquire new equipment, because you've got a cash buffer there. So it's so important to do that. Get a cash flow forecast in place. And remember, if you're looking for free tips and free advice on this sort of stuff, myself and the guys at Monopoly do this day in, day out. We put a lot of free content out there, like this podcast, that's there to really guide and help you. If you're looking for a cash flow forecast template, give me a shout, send me a message on on LinkedIn or get in touch with me through the website, we'll send you a free copy. Otherwise, go and search for one on Google. They all work. And if you need any more support, head to our website or head to my LinkedIn page at Steven Pettigrew Investor, where there's loads of free resources and you can do a deep dive on all this stuff. And if you want some more in-depth, detailed support, we can help on a more one-to-one basis through our mentorship program or by partnering up with you on a longer-term basis. But for now, I hope you enjoy. Remember to hit subscribe, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.